What is good, guys? Today the weather is awesome for now. It's supposed to start pouring down with rain at 1 p.m. So we don't have much time, but we need to do some work on the 33.4. And it's not something that's like big. Well, it kind of is a bit of a pain in the butt job, but we got to raise the front of this car. I don't know if you guys can tell. I mean, like, in all honesty, I love how low the car's sitting right now, but Japan roads, driveways, if I want to go to Ebisu this weekend for Drift Mitsuri, I can't be driving a car with that low of a front bumper. So we are gonna bring the raising tire car up, get it ready for Ebisu spec, essentially. And also, we needed to raise the car anyways because we don't want to damage these fenders or anything like that, because, you know, being metal welded together and stuff like that with putty and stuff, that's just going to destroy the fender for the 33.4 conversion. So until I can get some like BR Racing like widened ones by like 20 mil, what we're going to do is raise the car up, make it Ebisu spec, as we say, and that'll give me a lot more room for wheels, as well as we also need to run a 15 mil spacer in the front. So there's a bunch of things we need to do for maximum lock, and it's just, do I prefer, like, you know, function over form? Hell yeah, I do. So we're going to be setting up the front end so that we can get maximum angle without doing any damage to the car. And in all honesty, I don't mind the monster truck status. You guys saw my 34 in Australia. I didn't care that that thing was quite high. In fact, it helped me out a lot while I was learning to drift, keeping the geometry of the car pretty good. So anyways, enough chit chat, long intro, I know, I'm sorry, but let's get straight into it. Okay, so I want to show you just how low this front bar is. These are just standard ramps that everyone gets, like you can get them from GK Tech and stuff. Look at this, right? If I line it up with my tire, it hits the bar. It's that low. So, I mean, this really isn't considered super low. I mean, it's about 80 mil off the ground, so that's about standard for like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff, but yeah. Anyways, we're just gonna hope that when the wheel starts going up that it'll lift the front bar enough to clear. And let's get this front end up. All right, so we got the car all jacked up on jack stands and everything now, and we're pretty much ready to start bringing the car up and adjusting the coilovers. But I did just want to share some advice with you guys. Grab some brake cleaner, parts cleaner, and always clean the threads here before you start turning them. Otherwise, you don't want to get dirt or rocks or anything like that that sticks to this stuff from, you know, just being under here under the car and whatnot, because that'll jam up and give you a really hard time when you're trying to turn these. I also recommend, once you've cleaned them with the parts cleaner, to just give it a quick spray with like some CRC or lubricant. That'll just really help you out and give you a good time. And then, yeah, things will go a lot smoother. So what we're going to be doing today is essentially extending this more down. I'm going to be going about 60 mil, which is 6 centimeters, so probably about that much, just so that gives us enough clearance for pretty much everything we need to in the front end here, especially once we're changing to big 9.5J 18-inch wheels in the front as well, with a 15 mil spacer. We need all that gap there for the fenders so they don't rub. So let's get to it. Okay, so one thing that you definitely want to check is, if you've got base height adjustable coilovers, is at what point, how far down does the thread go? So this was all the way up in there, which is great, but we can probably only go to that much more higher, which is only like 2.5, 3 centimeters or so. We don't want to go too much, so I'd probably only go, yeah, we're only going to go probably about 2 centimeters there. We can't definitely go 4 or anything like that. So really, I'm only comfortable with going half of all of this thread here, which is about 2 centimeters. So we'll bring that ring down to about here, roughly about there, so that there's still enough threads on the coilover. And we'll go from there, because, yeah, probably even a little bit higher up there, just give it a few more threads. So I'm not comfortable with it only having like 4 or 5 threads on it, you know, like down here. But yeah, we definitely probably only gonna bring the car up to about there. So we'll bring that locking spring down to there, and hopefully things will be all sweet. Let's do it. Okay, so I finished adjusting the coilover height and everything's back in here zip tied on the ABS line. I did find it easier to actually unbolt it from the suspension here so that I could just take the end off and wind it in and out and check everything. One thing I did want to show you though is the angle kit and why we're not getting maximum angle right now. I figured it was a good opportunity now that we're in here. But I also noticed that my brake pads on the front here need changing very, very soon. I'm surprised they're not squeaking yet, but they're about to start squeaking, that's for sure. We've got new rotors like Project Mu rotors and brakes coming. I'm just going to use my foot to help me push that so you guys can see all the angle that we get. All right, we're kind of maxed out there right now. So because I'm using these D-Max tie rod ends, right, see how low they sit? So the factory ones normally finish all the way up here. But these D-Max ones don't finish to all the way down here. And that's an issue because it's contacting the lip here. And that's a good 7mm lip. Like I checked with the tape measure before. Where's my tape measure? Here. And that's like a good 7mm there of lip. We can get the tape in there. Give me a sec, guys. I should have been a bit more prepared, but you know, Sam is, damn it, SAMMIT, that's where that comes from. Okay, so we've got the tape measure now. And if we put that there, like, that's a good 1 centimeter of lip there, even like 7mm here. And that's where it's contacting. So if I quickly just move this, 1 sec, I'll put the camera down and move it. So we're at our max angle point now, and the only limiting factor, if I get under here and show you, is that. You see the issue? It's contacting the side there and hitting that lip. The factory ones tuck up inside here and actually tuck up against the LCA here. So we're missing out on another centimeter worth of essentially angle. Damn, one other thing I just noticed is it looks like my rack might be leaking, or there's engine oil in there, and my rack mount. Hey, how you going, Mr. Rack Mount? Yeah, we're definitely replacing that with some polyurethane ones. Definitely replacing that. Far out. Man, I just keep finding more and more things here that need fixing. Just, I guess, normal maintenance on a Nissan. You know what it's like. So yeah, we do have definitely way more angle than we previously did. I mean, like, look where that's sitting right now. And it even goes a little bit further. Like, if I crank on the wheel with the power steering, it does kind of, like, try to push it a bit further, but that's when you'll get steering bind because it's getting caught on the LCA. But yeah, no, like, it's definitely got a lot more angle than stock, so I'm pretty keen to give it a try out as it is. But now that I've noticed things like I definitely need to do my rotors and pads sooner than later, and then those, the power steering rack bushes need doing. So I definitely think I want to try and do those before the next drift event, which is literally in about a week. So who knows? I mean, it is just an Okajuku at Tsukuba Gymkhana, so we probably could get away with maybe just throwing in some pads and leaving it as is. I mean, I'm getting new rotors, so I could even just run these until they start scraping, but that's not probably smart. Anyways, let's get on to the other side, do that, and I'll hunt around on Amazon and order the parts that we need to replace those other things and get that sorted out probably this week as well. As long as the weather holds up, that would be great. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so we're finished with this side now. Everything's back together. All I got to do now is pack up all my tools, and then we can sit this thing on the ground and see where she's at. I measured everything perfectly, so we're identical on either side. 2 centimeter lift. So we're literally adding a lift kit to this. We're going to go full driving, boys. No, we're just going to Ebisu circuit. Who would have thought you needed a lift kit for Ebisu? Alright, let's get started. Alrighty, so we're done. This is what the car looks like. I don't mind it. I think it actually looks great. The only thing that kind of is a bit hideous, I guess, is people would complain about this wheel gap here. But I mean, comp cars, man, like you can fit like almost 1.5 fists in a comp car, and I can't even get my fist in there. So we're looking pretty good. The front is like pretty much bang on perfect where the other bar used to sit. If you guys remember, if we grab a ramp real quick. Remember how we couldn't, like the bar was like lower than this point, so we couldn't even slide the ramp under? That's where we're at now. So we got a fair bit of extra space there. Looks great. This driveway is a bit uneven, so it does vary across, but it's pretty much 2 centimeter gap across that we've gone up. Looks so much better. and I definitely think we'll be good with a lot of driveways and things here in Japan. I still need to be careful, obviously, but nowhere near as dangerous, I guess. I just really didn't want to crack and damage my bar. Like, I've been scraping it lightly coming into some driveways and potholes and things, but yeah, Japan roads aren't all that great until you get on the highway. The highway's great, but all the streets around Tokyo are really dodgy, and driveways like this is pretty standard too. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with the stance and how it looks right now. And I also think once we throw 18s on there with the same wall tire thickness, we'll probably actually go up an inch or an inch and a half. So it is going to make the front even higher, which is good in my opinion. Like I said, you want suspension travel in the front. The way we set up our cars here in Japan is completely different. Soft in the rear, kind of firm and semi-firm in the front, so you can feel the rear more over the front. You're steering with the rear of the car always. So if you're ever getting into learning how to drifting, always try to learn how to steer the car from the rear. That's the best advice I can give you. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Later on this week, we're picking up all my Yokohama Advan wheels from Okachan, because they were all thrown on his truck when I crashed the car. And when May and Elbow picked it up, everyone had forgotten about my wheels and none of them were loaded in the car. So we got to go back and get those. But yeah, really happy. And I'm glad that now I'm not going to be damaging this front bar. So anyways, we're going to pack everything up, and me and May are probably going to go to a place called Seijo Ishii, and we'll go check that out. We're out here just cruising around, and this store right here, the one with like the maroon kind of sign, that's Seijo Ishii. Looks like they're open, which is good because it's Golden Week. But we're going to head in there. It's kind of like a posh supermarket. I don't know, you'll understand when we go in there, I'll show you. Yo, we just accomplished something. With the height of this, we didn't scrape one bit and we came up this here. Look at this thing. It was brutal. Even this guy's probably going to nearly bottom out. Look at this guy. Look, even he's being cautious. That's funny. All right, so let's head inside. So this is Seijo Ishii. Like I said, it's kind of like a fancier, posher, rich person's convenience store slash super. But the best thing about Seijo Ishii is you can get all the salami here, which is kind of hard to come by, and prosciutto and all the different cheeses and stuff. It's hard to find this stuff in Japan, and like good bacon too. Like it's difficult. Plus, you can sometimes find like lamb and things like that here. May's looking at steaks. Yum. Check out all of this stuff. Some Wagyu goodness. Oh yeah. But yeah, it's pretty much like you can also get a lot of foreign like import stuff, Mexican food, El Torados or whatever that brand is. Lots of good meat here too. Yo, I'm pretty excited right now. Tim Tams are here. I've been telling people for a while now that Tim Tams have been coming out a lot in oh, that looks good. I want to try these. You know what? Nah, we'll give them a miss. But like, see, you can get all the Tim Tams in Japan now. They're pretty much everywhere. Okay, so we just finished at Seijo Ishii. We actually found some Aussie lamb chops, so I'm going to cook May up some lamb, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we're done with lunch now, and May loved the lamb chops. It's one of those things that I kind of introduced to her in Australia, and then she just always misses it, and whenever we find it in Japan, because it's kind of hard to get, they always sell out really quickly, so there's only like a certain amount of time that you have to get them. But yeah, we managed to find some, and whenever we do see them, it's like, yep, that's what we're having for dinner. So yeah, I cooked them for her, and I'm a bit of a cooking guy, so I went a little bit crazy, but just olive oil, cracked sea salt, and then what else did I use? Rosemary and garlic. And you want to slow bake it in that, either in an oven or in a low heat frying pan, just until you're confident that the center is nice and pink and moist. Then what you want to do is take them off the heat up the frying pan super hot, and then you want to drop them back in there and turn them over once you've seared them, and then they turn out perfect, like amazing. So yeah, little tip for you guys if you're ever cooking lamb chops. But yeah, anyways, in the end, we actually found out we're going to be getting dinner tonight with May's family. So I'm probably going to end the vlog here so that I can edit the video before we go out to dinner. So that way I don't have to come home super late and then have to edit and stay up really late again. So I want to get early starts. Early starts is where it's at. So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm pretty happy with the results of the car, even though we raised it. I mean, sure, we've now got a bit more wheel gap, but I think it's going to actually work out much better for driving and drifting. And yeah, keep an eye out. We're going to Ebisu this week. It's going to be fun. And I don't really know what else to say. I'm kind of like, I'm a mess in my head right now. There's so many things trying to go through and sort out for Golden Week. It's driving me insane. So yeah, thanks heaps for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ja, mata ne.